And I threw this at Stoots, and he just completely rolled his eyes at it through the phone. Just complete disrespect. But now I think you're on board with this.
Yeah, I had to go do some homework, get ready for it.
So we have, because it's easy for us to talk about the teams in the division and where they're at, but we are going to do an exercise, a mind exercise, if you will, which is even more significant now because Cam Robinson is here. An AFC South, first 2 days of the draft, mock draft with all the teams, so we can get a grasp of the opportunity that the teams that are trying to dethrone the Texans as AFC South champs, the opportunity that they have to improve their football teams.
Yeah, so 3 rounds, the Titans picks, the Jaguars picks, the Colts picks, and of course the Texans picks. And the Texans one kind of changes drastically now. And I got a hunch we may be better at this than the Titans, guys.
Yeah, I think we might be, but I think pick 1 is very obvious with the Titans.
So you want to get this thing started and let's go?
Let's get started.
All right.
You're going to take Cam Ward. You got to go down a little bit. My goodness.
Where is Cam? Cam Ward's the 21st ranked player in Pro Football Focus.
Pro Football Focus hates these quarterbacks, man.
They do hate the quarterbacks. That is true.
They hate these quarterbacks.
That is true. So Cam Ward's the number 1 pick.
Despite being the number 21 ranked quarterback, which, by the way, I do feel like I don't think too many Texans fans are shaking in their boots at the thought of Cam Ward going to Tennessee at all.
No.
Like, it's not even Jaden Daniels. Like, if you were skeptical last year, I was like, yeah, well, he did look pretty good in college. Does that translate? I think that was the question. So now we go to 5 with Jacksonville. Your boy McMillan is getting a lot of hate. I saw Steve Smith kind of said that he didn't think he thought he was overrated and didn't play the way he looked.
This is the beauty of social media. I saw the same clip. Somebody sent it to me. It was like, man, Steve Smith's really ragging on Tetero McMillan, your guy. And I go, yeah. Did you see Steve Smith's rankings? And they're like, no, where'd they have him? 2. They had him as the second best wide receiver in the draft.
Yeah.
So like Steve Smith goes out there, he gives you the good and the bad of everybody.
Yeah.
And he still likes McMillan. He just doesn't see him in the same way that everybody else sees.
And his number 1 was
Golden, right?
The man who visited the Texans today, Matthew Golden. Will he be on the board for the Texans, though? That is a question. With the Jags, they've hinted a lot at potentially going D-line, but I just feel like Tyler Warren is a real possibility here.
I would tell you that Tyler Warren, the Penn State tight end, and Ashton Genty, the running back from Boise State, are both very big possibilities.
Okay, so where are we going here?
You and I feel like we're on to the Jaguars early, and so I'm with you. I kind of want to take Tyler Warren here.
All right, let's give them Tyler Warren.
Are you Baselli and I'm the kid, or am I Baselli and you the kid?
You can be Baselli. You're the king of the offseason, so you can be Baselli.
All right, so Tyler Warren here. Now a little bit of a wait.
Texans version. What?
Sit down and shut up, kid.
Now we get to the Colts. And the Colts. So what do we have go here? Now we get to the Colts.
They just spent $20 million on a safety, so can't imagine
they're not doing that.
They drafted an edge defender last year.
Yes, they did.
So not doing that. They could go defensive tackle to pair with DeForest Buckner. I tell you what they really need to do here in Indianapolis.
I could see them going tight end, but I don't know.
They need to draft Colston Lovely is what they need to do.
Yeah, I think so too. And they've really emphasized the lack of tight end production in Indianapolis, like at a crazy level. Like it seems like it's like one of the first 3 questions Ballard gets asked about every time he goes up there. So I'm with you.
I would draft Colston Lovely if I was the Colts.
I would too. So I think we have 2 tight ends in the AFC South and a quarterback go, as the Texans will be awaiting to see kind of how stuff falls their way. By the way, did you see MJD's running back rankings?
Maurice Jones-Drew?
Yeah.
No, who did he have at the top for running back? Genty?
He had Genty. He said Genty's the best guy that he's ever scouted. And he said he started scouting in depth in 2016.
Damn.
But guess where Omarion Hampton was?
2.
7.
Okay, won't be walking at that list.
Hit him at 7. All right, so the Texans here, Walker right before. God, I think D'Amico would have been tempted had Walker been on the board. I'll be honest with you. Kelvin Banks is gone.
These 4 picks. These 4 picks right here before the
4
Texans.
most popular names, perhaps.
Why? Wow,
that hurts.
Those 4.
That
picks
one hurts right there.
Simmons is a tackle option, especially if you needed him to come back from the injury a little bit. That hurts.
So you kind of look smart for having the Cam Robinson safety net here early on. That wasn't the intention here. It's just kind of the way that things go. But you kind of look smart now. But man, that is a painful look right there.
Yeah, those are 4 players I'd have been very comfortable with.
No Golden, no Ibuka, wide receiver. You kind of feel like you're in wide receiver no man's land.
Unless you love Luther Burden.
Which you do. Do you want to take him?
I don't love Luther Burden that much. I like him. I don't love him. He was not super productive in a bad Tigers offense in 2024. He was awesome in 2023. They were a much better football team. He can play outside. He can play inside. I'm not beholden to a wide receiver. To me, it's Burden. It's Burden or Gray Zabel. This is where Caserio would get on the phone and try to move back. We didn't make any sort of declaration on trades allowed, trades not allowed. And then there's a lot of defenders, and they've spent so much on defense. I mean, you go Tyler Booker. You go guard. You got 2 guards and a wide receiver.
Let's just take the guard.
Which one? You want Zabel?
You can pick between Zabel and Booker. I think they would take Booker, but
I think they would take Booker as well. Gray Zabel, lesser competition. They've drafted 1 non-power 5 guy in Nick Caserio's time, and that was when UH was non-power 5. They drafted Tank Dell.
Jesse saying trade back on the soup. Shout out to Jesse F.
I mean, are we doing trades for the Texans?
Nah, we want trade back. You got to make a pick here.
All right, so I believe the Texans would draft Tyler Booker, and I believe.
Does anyone want to trade up for Shedeur Sanders, who's 47th on the list? God, they hate the quarterbacks.
Jeez, that's terrible. That's terrible. I believe they'd take Tyler Booker, so I'm going to go Booker.
Go Booker.
All right, so there's, you want offensive linemen. You got offensive linemen. Burden to the Rams. Wow. What a spot for him.
I would have taken Omarion. I like Omarion Hampton, but hey, it's okay. He went to the Chiefs. Not that he's not going to do anything there. Don't worry. Don't be scared. Don't be scared. They get their second crack at the Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the make right. So don't be scared. Omarion Hampton just became a Chief there.
Okay, so the Titans are back on the clock. They got a quarterback in the first round.
They don't need a receiver.
I would tell you that they'd probably have a hard time passing on Scorton from A&M.
Yeah, just give him Scorton.
Okay. Just to get him at edge guy. You slam him in there with.
They got rid of Landry, so they need an edge guy. So yeah, Tennessee. The edge makes sense.
Building one hell of a defensive line there. Now this is beautiful for Jacksonville. They take Gray Zabel. They get a guard or a center, whichever one.
I think they might be thinking D-line though. There's been a lot of talk about D-line.
TJ Sanders and Tyleik Williams are 2 different kinds of guys. So you got those guys. Landon Jackson's an intriguing player. Landon Jackson would be the pick if Balky was still the guy. Ravel, the corner from Carolina.
Give him Landon Jackson. Old habits die hard.
All right, Landon Jackson.
Old habits die hard.
All right, so now a little wait here for the Texans. Or no, we got the Colts then. Forget what we're doing with the Colts. Well, the Patriots get Gray Zabel. What that? All right, Colts, they got a tight end. They probably don't need any more wide receivers. They've got
PFF's rankings are whack, by the way.
Yeah.
How do you got Besh as the 38th ranked prospect? Like, let's be serious.
He's probably not that good.
Yeah, they're losing a lot here.
Swinson, the edge from LSU would be interesting for them. Honestly, their linebackers were so crappy. Demetrius Knight probably makes a lot of sense for them as well. He's an older player, but pretty athletic, do it all type of guy.
Yeah, give him Knight.
Knight would be a guy if the Texans had moved back and had an extra second-round pick that D'Amico Ryans would be foaming at the mouth to get.
No, we're kind of in a weird spot for the Texans because I'm kind of getting thirsty for a wide receiver. So,
Restrepo would have been nice.
Look at the running backs and the receivers here.
Okay, we'll filter it by wide receiver and
what the running back role look like. Running back. You got Scattaboo there.
Scattaboo, Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, Caleb Johnson from Iowa, Jalen Knoll from Iowa State. That's your speed guy. Outside, take the top off type thing. Jalen Royals, we talked about Steve Smith earlier. Steve Smith loves Jalen Royals. Sevion Williams is a really interesting player. He's
too early for Neil, but I do feel like they decently like him.
Yeah, it's probably a little early for Neil and Trey Harris. You hate Scattaboo.
I like him fine. 50. I don't know, man. I'm still underestimating him a little bit.
I mean, if you're looking for just the pure runner, Caleb Johnson.
Let's look at the tight ends too.
You had tight ends in. You got Elijah Arroyo, Mason Taylor, T. Ferg from Oregon, Mason Taylor from LSU. He's a little bit more do-it-all than some of these other guys. I would pick Jalen Knoll or Jalen Royals.
Let's go with Knoll.
Okay,
another Iowa State guy.
You get your speed guy on the outside, and then from like putting the puzzle together, it kind of works now.
Not gonna lie, Abuka and Golden going picks before kind of really.
I would have thought
all over this draft.
I would have thought the Texans would have got a nice swing at either one of those. So the Jaguars back on there. We got him Tyler Warren. We got him Landon Jackson.
They need.
I'd throw him an edge player now.
Yeah.
So, Kennard from Carolina or Birch from Oregon.
They already got one edge guy.
Farmer would be intriguing on the interior for him. He had a good Senior Bowl. Farmer's from Florida State. They could also use a running back too.
I don't know about here though. Unless they want to bring RJ Harvey home.
They lost a safety in free agency. Cisco left, right?
Yes.
You want to give him Kevin Winston from Penn State?
Sure, he's good too.
Okay, so they get a safety.
So outside of the
the Chiefs took another running back.
Oh God,
I didn't see that. Oh yeah,
they got Hampton and Sampson. Hampton Sampson. That kind of scares me while we're laughing.
That's a disgusting running back room. Oh
yeah, that scares me a little bit. It scares me a little.
So the Texans are on the clock here now.
All right, we need a receiver, man. We already got one, but maybe don't.
Tyler Booker, Jalen Knoll.
Check the running backs. God dang it.
DJ Giddens and Devin Neal. Probably a little early for your guy Blue.
Way early. Giddens is very underrated. Man, the running back. You've crashed out of the running back market, man. Now, tight end. Mason Taylor's there.
Mason Taylor feels like a prototype for them.
Yeah,
little
Mason
bit
Taylor, come
a little
on
bit
down.
of a little bit of a blocker, a little bit of a receiver.
Background, football background.
Dad's Jason Taylor, the Hall of Fame defensive lineman. You know, Caserio's already got the statement prepared. Well, his father was a Hall of Fame football player. We had to deal with him in the AFC East.
Bring him in. Mason Taylor. Man, this draft sucks.
All right, so the Colts got Colston Loveland, Demetrius Knight. Could probably use an interior guy. Could use an edge guy. They're going to take Jonah Savanaia.
Okay. They always got to take some sort of
Offensive lineman. Yep. All right, so a little bit of a wait here for the Texans. They're going to have to – the Jags got Tyler Warren and his teammate Kevin Winston. They also got an edge guy.
They need a back.
Okay. They got to steal Devin Neal from you?
Yeah, give him Neal.
This is just an exercise in punishing the Texans.
Yeah, this sucks.
So the Texans draft so far is Tyler Booker, Jalen Knoll, Mason Taylor. And Landry's ready to pitch a fit.
No. This is not great.
I mean,
this is not great.
You want to go with another offensive lineman, you can. You got
might as well go with
Purdue,
Tate Ratledge.
If you wanted to get a tackle.
Makuba's nice, dude.
Yeah, but if Chauncey Gardner-Johnson was done after a year, I'd say yes, but he's got 2 years.
He's there, yes. No.
Tez Johnson, if you want to rerun the Tank Dell situation back. I'm going with a guard or Bo from Purdue.
Yeah, I would just go with Ratledge.
Boy, I don't like that draft.
It's not great. But that's what happens when you're at 25. You're kind of in that no man's land. So
those 2 wide receivers coming off
hurts.
That hurt.
And Banks.
Those 2 wide receivers, Banks and Walker.